Man, I was trying to dodge this matchup so hard, but here we go. Pudding versus Reiju. Pudding, notoriously slow deck, at least from the 2 games I played it so far. All you want to do early game is ramp, ramp, ramp. And Reiju, all they want to do early game is slap down EGGs and hit you in the face. So this matchup ends up being pretty tough. My goal here is to get to 10 Dawn as quick as possible. I do have a 10 Mom in hand. And Reiju's goal here is to just kill me before I get there. Reiju's going to go ahead and swing 5k at lead. I'm going to debate on whether I want to use that Zoro Juro. I am on the going second, so I'm going to be on the even Dawn curve. That means that Viola in hand is pretty much all I need to get to 10 Dawn on my 4th turn. Going second, it's a lot easier for Pudding to get to 10 Dawn on the 4th turn. All you got to do is swing with Pudding and be able to use some other source to ramp, versus the first Dawn turn having to do it a few additional times. So opponent here going to go ahead and play out Kaya, try to find some good cards. We saw an EGG go into the yard, which is exactly what we didn't want to see, because that means that EGG is likely going to come down in a future turn. And then Reiju doing Reiju things, playing a baby Reiju into big Reiju to draw them 3 cards. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a Pudding here. We do have some extra Dawn to play with, since we decided not to commit to the Zoro Juro here. Pudding is going to find us 1 of 2 options, either a 10 Mom or a Flampe. I am very much deciding right now whether I want to take the 2k or go for the 10 Mom. I already have a 10 Mom in hand. I do have a few 2ks in hand, but honestly 2ks are worth taking in this specific matchup, just because I do not want to take any extra life if I don't have to. Ichiji by himself is going to require me to at least use 2 cards to stop the attack, so that's going to be pretty brutal. We're going to go ahead and attack and reveal 2 cards here. We got a Beige on top of life and a good old Katakuri. Beige, exactly where I don't want him to be. Beige, I want you to be on the bottom of my life at all times, but top of life basically just means that I will get to stall out 1 play if I decide not to put it in my hand, which likely, I mean, either way, depending on the attack, I mean, it's either going to eat a 2k or stop something from attacking anyways, so might as well just trigger it when it comes out, especially if the opponent has some available attackers on board here. That Viola was allowed me to trick my opponent, potentially. It's a memory game at this point, right? Viola, Pudding reveals life, Viola shuts life down, or flips the life back over, so opponent's going to have to guess what's on top of my life. What could it be? What could it be? It's a Beige. Beige on the leader there. We're just going to go ahead and just let it trigger off, as that would prevent the opponent from potentially stacking more Dawn to be able to attack me for 8k or 7k, which would require Beige plus anyways. Opponent here going to play out one of the best cards in the deck, Portia. Portia here is going to miss, not going to find anything, but Portia is going to hit and pull out an Ichiji right into the glare spot. Ichiji's already in the yard. Looks like there's already 2 in the yard, so this is going to be pretty scary, especially if opponent manages to find more than 1. Ichiji's going to come down, get rush, make that Viola minus 2,000, and then swing. I'm just going to go ahead and take that hit because I know it's a Katakuri, and Katakuri is a nice little play. Kind of in this filler turn here where I am at, 7 Dawn. I do, again, because I flipped my life back up, even though it didn't really matter because my opponent went ahead and just took all that life from me anyways, so I guess I would have been able to use the effect regardless here. So we could just attack. We have some decisions to make here. Don't really have anything else to do but play the Katakuri. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to reveal my life here because Katakuri is going to flip life anyways, so I'm just going to awkwardly go to 9 Dawn on this turn. Regardless, that Dawn is already... Katakuri gets me a Dawn active, whereas Pudding gets me a Dawn rested, so I'm just going to be holding up a Radical Beam at the end of the turn because I'm not going to be able to use that Dawn for anything else. Here I am a little... have to decide here what I want to do with my attack. Unfortunately, because I am already at... I guess I am at 7 Dawn, so I can attach 1 Dawn to lead here and swing. Potentially to try to get a 2k out of the hand here if I swing 6k at Reiju. Reiju, the character here. At this point, I think it's worth trying to control the board to the best of my ability. Oh, did you hear that voice crack? Holy crap, dude, it takes me back to high school. I haven't been in high school in like 10 years. Holy shit. Oh, God. I'm an old man. Anyways, we flip over life here and reveal 2 big bombs, a big mom and a slightly less big mom. And then opponent's just going to counter out of that attack. We're going to go ahead and play out the Katakuri. Katakuri's going to flip that big bomb down. I'm going to say, you didn't see anything. And we're going to get a Dawn active. We're going to hold up a Radical Beam for the turn here and pass to my opponent. Opponent has quite a scary board. Unfortunately, opponent does not have a lot of Dawn to work with, though. So those threats will not be swinging nearly as high. But luckily, I have a lot of 2Ks in hand. I've got at least, 3 2Ks and a 0-cost event. Can pitch one of my big clunky cards out of hand to get plus 3K to lead if I ever so need it. Opponent is aware that they will be giving me a 10 Mom if they decide to swing into me. Opponent going ahead and reading Viola as well. So I'm Likely going to play a tin bomb either way, though. If I am down to 1 life, I'm more incentivized to play the ace in my hand, just because ace can immediately threaten board, right? Ace will heal me 1 and threaten board, and then the next turn I can just play out the big bomb. Opponent here thinking pretty hard, only got 1 Don up at this point, so I know a 6k attack will come at some point. We're going to go ahead and send 5 at lead. Unfortunately, I'm 2k city right now, so we're just going to have to give a 2k out for a 5k attack. Another 5k here. So I know at least we're going to get another, like, maybe a 6k and then a 7k. We're going to go ahead and take that. He knows I have a big mom in hand now, which is another clunker. Unfortunate side of pudding is usually yellow decks are pretty good at hiding their life triggers, yada yada, and the whatnot. But pudding does kind of leave all that out in the open. I'm going to go ahead and use my 3-cost counter, or my 3k counter, with pitching the big bomb. Opponent thinks maybe that was the big bomb that they gave me, but I have a card holder. If they were watching very closely, they'd know that I grabbed the card from the other side, whereas putting big bomb on the one side. Kind of the disadvantage maybe of using a card holder, but honestly it's great for the viewers at home, and it's pretty great for me. Now I know it's in my hand at all time when I'm kind of going back and vodding over these. Alright, we're going to go ahead and send a 5k into Portia. We're going to try to threaten board here. Opponent's hand is, 4 cards in hand right now. Go ahead and send a 7k into Reiju here. This is maybe representing that he is either wanting to save the 2ks for protecting the EGG, and I'm just going to play an ace. We're going to go ahead and swing into that. That pretty much tells me that he likely only has like maybe 1 2k or doesn't have any 2ks at all. So that makes me a little happy here, letting me pretty much almost full clear. Though my opponent still has a, what is that, Niji on board. Niji's already kind of done his thing. It came down and then kicked Fiol in the face. Fiol is gone now. No more blockers for me. Gonna see a 7k come at lead here. Got 4k in hand, but I'm just gonna take it. We'll take a blind. Unfortunately, that blind is just a 1k, but that means we've got a 1k to 2k to potentially stifle out another EGG, which would be pretty scary here. Opponent leaving up 3 Don, which pretty much tells me that they're gonna play maybe another Porsche into EGG play. If they do that, that's going to be absolutely frustrating. But unfortunately, that's just how it works sometimes. Opponent's going to go ahead and activate Porsche's effect. Look at that 5. Find nothing, please. I always love a good whiff skis. Unfortunately, they whiffed as well. No chopper coming down, potentially. But instead, an EGG is coming down, which is incredibly more threatening. Opponent's going down to, 3 Don total. Going to play out the EGG. EGG is going to minus my Katakuri down to 5,000. Could mean a potential swing into Katakuri, but likely just a swing into lead here, as I'm going to have to use the 2k, 1k with 1 card in hand now. And then, yeah, the opponent's just going to go ahead and discard a Judge, saying I'm not going to go towards the Judge plan because I literally only have 3 Don. We're going to play out, get a Reiju to hand, which pretty much tells me that they're going to be filling up their hand again this next turn here. This is a pretty scary spot to be in right now with just a 2k, a 7 mom on life, and a 10 mom in hand. Likely this turn, we're going to do something pretty similar to the turn before. We're just going to try to threaten board here. We could go 10k into the 7k, just try to threaten to see if he doesn't have any 2ks again. He's just going to let it go. We could likely send the 7k into the 6k and just try to 2k check. 7k into the 6k. Opponent's thinking here, this would be a great opportunity for them to give me 2 cards. Instead, they're just going to give me the 2k that I guess they had in their hand at all times. And then I'm going to play out the Big Bomb. Big Bomb's going to trash type card of life. I see a, what is that, the Green Power Ranger? Yeah, that's, Yanji? I guess some Reiju lists are running that again. I think I talked to my opponent afterwards, and he's like, yeah, I put the Yanjis back in for the Judge plays, because I think the newest version of the deck runs the Black Marias. Black Maria can take you up to higher amounts of Don, which allow you to be more consistent with your Judge plays, which means having all 4 Rangers to play out is pretty awesome. So pretty interesting to see that card be put back into the deck, right? Because typically when you play against Reiju, you don't really have to worry about too many blockers other than like the Chopper blocker. Some decks have even cut the Queen blocker, but knowing that Yanji's back in the deck is a little scary for the potential. I'm kind of setting up a potential lethal turn here. We're going to go ahead and take that. And unfortunately, nothing good off life. We saw 3 Beiges already, 2 Beiges in hand and 1 Beige on life. This deck is notorious for not having a lot of triggers, right? I think the only triggers we really have are the Beige trigger, as well as the 0-cost event trigger. Unfortunately, we already know what's on the bottom of our life, so we can't bluff with that. I'm going to 2k, and then I'm going to 1k, using my entire hand pretty much to survive again. And now I'm setting up myself up for a potential lethal turn. And so this is going to be pretty scary. But opponent does play the Reiju, drawing 3 cards, taking themselves back up to 5 cards here. Then we're going to see a stage play, get an uncounterable card out of hand. Opponent's going to grab a 2K Sanji. Anybody got those cards? That card is ridiculously expensive for no reason. It was a Pirate Party promo. Wasn't even on TCG for a while, but I think it's like, is this still like a $15 card? That's nonsensical. You don't need to run that card if you don't have it. Porsche just coming down again. Please no HEG. Please no HEG. Right. We've already seen it. We've seen this song and dance 3 times. Please don't show me another one here. Opponent thinking here. Opponent's reshuffling, which basically means they whiffed again. That's 3 whiffs on the Porsche today. And then going to play out a Black Maria. Black Maria is going to allow them to take themselves up to 8 Dawn here. Only 3 Dawn on the board. But they're going to be able to gain 5 Dawn rested and then copy. Get to keep it if I've got the same or more. Passing back to me here. I have a 1-turn opportunity. 1 chance, 1 opportunity to try to go for game here. And so I'm thinking pretty hard. So 5 cards in hand. I need to hit at least 4 times. So the first one, you know, has to bait some counter. And so I've got that pudding on board. I'm thinking, okay, how much Dawn can I commit to the pudding to allow me to keep swinging heavy, right? So I could go 5K with pudding, 9K with 5K with little pudding, 9K with leader pudding. Use the other 3. Use 3 Dawn for Katakuri, right? So it's 3, 3, 4, which is up to 10 Dawn. I'm gonna go ahead and use 3 Dawn here. We're gonna swing 5K, and I think this is where I make my big mistake, especially hindsight being 2020 here. And we're gonna play out. We're gonna swing for 5. We're just gonna eat a 1K here. Now we're gonna swing with 9. Opponent's gonna take it. We're gonna swing with 10. Opponent's gonna take it. We're gonna swing with 10 again. And the opponent shows me the saddest here. He's got 2K, 2K, 1K, 1K to take himself up to 11 here. And then we're going to go 12. That's going to take the last life. So if I had walked back and would do that differently, especially now with seeing what was in hand, if I had swung 6K first, that 6K would have at least eaten either 2 1Ks from hand or the 2K from hand. And then I think I would have beat him there. I don't think Katakuri had to swing nearly as high as it needed to. Opponents here just finishing off the game. I'm giving him a courtesy way to finish the game, and that's it. Unfortunately, solid Big Mom on top. But yeah, if I had swung 7K with pudding, little pudding, then 9K, 9K, 10K, 12K, I think we could have potentially gotten there. And that was just a little hindsight, or sorry, 6K with pudding. That would have been a little bit of a hindsight there. But unfortunately, we weren't able to clutch it out. It was a very close game, though, which is exactly what I like to see playing against a deck like Reiju. So if you enjoyed this type of content, feel free to like the video and definitely subscribe because we'll be making more content in the future. Thanks, everybody.